say I'm excited right now would be a bit of an understatement. I'm actually heading up right now to Grannis Racing. If you guys don't know what that is, then you're probably not into Supras and you probably shouldn't be watching my channel. Joel Grannas right now is the king of the 6-speed battle. He has been banging gears for good God now 5 years, I want to say. I might be off on that. I'll get more details when I go and meet with him here. I'm driving up to his house / shop right now. I just happen to be lucky that I'm driving up to work. I'm up in the Hollidaysburg area on business, and that's where shop happens to be. I post up on one of the discussion pages and boom, it says I'm able to come. So I'm hoping to get some good video for y'all today, and let's go see what he has to show. Now, is this still a Getrag car?
Yeah, for now.
Okay.
It's going to get swapped.
Here's the one thing I want, this was like the question I wanted to ask you today. What is your opinion on the Getrag still to this day, and where do you see it going? Number two, I want to answer this at the same time. Do you want to fully go away from the Getrag and go T56 everything, or keep going more and more modern transmissions? Even if the T56 becomes antiquated, would you keep going newer and newer?
Oh, definitely. Yeah, if something came out better than the T56 Magnum, I'd go that way. Right now, I mean, the only real reason I switched to a T56 Magnum to begin with is because of racing. And parts were not there when I went to rebuild a trans, and what was I going to do? I mean, I wanted to keep racing 6-speed. I didn't want to go to an automatic, so
sure,
I had to evolve, and the T56 Magnum is what happened. And it's been doing pretty well so far for me. I haven't broken a gear yet.
Yeah, I mean, watching the videos, it definitely looks totally different for you shifting in that. So I did a side-by-side comparison of your old videos versus some of your newer stuff, and I just feel like even in shifts and stuff, they don't feel like it bogs as much anymore. Like when you're going from each gear, it just seems so much smoother. Maybe that's my opinion.
Well, if you were watching the video with the strain gauge,
yep,
it's not gonna re-squat anymore, because basically it's like a split second. It's almost like a sequential shift, but it's still H pattern.
Okay.
Because the strain gauge just cuts ignition for like 0.3 seconds when you pull it to the gear, and you don't have to in the World Cup final setup from last year, I only made like 2 passes, I think, before it blew up. But I was running the strain gauge, and I don't have to use the clutch other than first gear.
Gotcha.
So when I pulled a second gear, when I put that pressure on the shifter, it automatically cuts ignition. I could slam it right into gear with the face plated. That's with the GR1000F trans.
Gotcha.
So, I mean, the plan is for the white car is to put the regular GR1000 back in it, just a regular synchro trans, and I want to go after the record again.
Okay.
So I want to put the carbon doors on it, and I still have all the AC stuff, all the stuff under the dash. I want to get rid of all that, lighten it up a little bit more.
Okay.
So I'm hoping to maybe take out like 100 pounds, and then same power, and let's see what happens. It should run a 7. That's what I want.
See, for me, I'm all about street car, everything. Now you're into drag racing to a different point, but for me and a lot of my viewers, the way we do it is, or the way I like to, is no matter what I do, I keep AC, I keep heat, I keep power steering. Although I was the one that kind of bugged you back in the day, I kind of wanted to do your steering rack because that had me intrigued, because I'm all about simplicity. Yeah. The one thing I did remove in my car is I got rid of ABS. There was just so much stuff in the way, and it made it so much easier to work on. And I saw you did the one brake booster delete too, and I was close to doing it, but I'm like, I was afraid to go away from that creature comfort. Yeah. What's your opinion on the whole brake booster thing and all that?
I don't really think it's worth the weight.
Really?
Yeah. I mean, it works. It has a totally different feel though. I don't mind the manual rack. That doesn't bother me one bit. I put a manual rack in this now too.
Even on the street and stuff? Now, obviously dead stop, you're going to have a little bit more work.
Definitely. Like if you're in a parking lot and you're trying to turn the wheel, especially like this car's big wide front tires on it, it's tight. I mean, so if you're running those big wide street tires, yeah, it's I mean, if you're sitting still trying to, in parallel parking too, I mean, you have to really pull on it. But just cruising down the road and highway cruising, you can't even tell that there's no power steering.
Wow. So for a lot of people, I mean, for someone that's not city driving, and they're doing the highway pulls, and they're in Texas, they're in Oklahoma, and they're only spending a couple seconds where they're down low. But if they're on the highway or driving down the road, it's not going to bother them. So it's not going to matter. Right. So that's good to know. And I think people would like to know that. This is the kind of information they need to know. So cool. That's good information. All right, so let's go ahead and talk about the T56 here and what you have on the shelf here.
All right. So these are 2 customer trans. They're going to be shipped out later this week.
Okay.
Those are just empty boxes from my build. That's a TR6060 from a Camaro, and I first bought that to do some R&D work with, but the non-removable bell housing was kind of a bitch. And I was reading online about some guys that made like a plate to do it, and it was too much work and too much money to do it that way rather than just buy the Magnum, which has the bell already off of it, which makes it so nice.
So now TR66, even though the bell housings are different, it's still a TR66, so it's the same transmission across the board, right? I mean, it's the same, still the same internals as any other TR6060, or are they different?
Yeah, the TR6060s are the same generally, internally,
okay,
except for the gear sets.
Okay.
So Camaro has one gear set, Viper has a gear set. That's another thing that sucks about the Camaro trains. The gears are not really good for the 2JZ stuff.
Okay.
Same with the Viper. They're just, the gears are too long. They're made for a V10.
Gotcha.
That's why I like the close ratio Magnum. It works really well. It's like with the automatic rear end in it, the TT auto rear end.
Yep.
It works pretty well. So there's a two 9-inches setups, DSS 9-inch setups out of my white car.
Okay.
One is for the V160 and one is for the T56 Magnum.
Holy cow! So you got both of them in shop.
Yeah.
Now I did see that you're building your own too now, correct? Are you doing
That's a Ford 8.8 setup.
Okay, that's slightly different.
It's not as strong as the 9-inch. It's kind of like a budget setup mainly for my customers. I was trying to get it because I'm trying to get them up to like the 410 gear range. That would be like the perfect setup. 410 with the T56 Magnum close ratio would be almost just like a V160, like driving it. That's a SC300 stock trans.
W58 there.
That's a V160 out of that Blue Eyes 300 over there.
So the Blue Eyes 300 there
That's
has
for sale if anyone wants it. Full, complete swap with spec clutch.
So guys, if you didn't hear that, he's saying this V160 is for sale. I'll pick his brain about it here later. I'm not going to bug him now for price, so I'll get you guys price and I'll post that in the comments below then.
This is my motor stuff off the white car when it blew up. So that's my oil pan. That's my dress up pan. You can see some farmage still in there. So I'll be getting a new pan for that.
Wow. So do you still don't know what caused that, or do you know what let loose to cause the issue? I mean, is it kind of hard to diagnose? I mean, it goes.
That motor was tired. I had run that for over a year, and it was an aluminum rod motor. You're technically supposed to refresh those every year. So I just said, it's the last event of the year. I'm not going to refresh it just for that race. I'm just going to go out and see what happens, and that's what happened.
Gotcha. Hey, you rolled the dice, and the dice didn't roll back.
It didn't hurt. What's good is it didn't hurt anything turbo-wise. No motor pieces went through the oil up into the turbo, into the head. The head was still decent, so it's over. That's what I'm waiting for right now.
That's awesome.
My new motor's right here from Dawn, over accelerated, so that's ready.
Perfect.
This is the motor here. This is the motor.
That's the one that let loose?
That's the one that let loose. Oh,
buddy,
don't touch it, buddy.
You don't want to touch that, bud. It's dirty.
Come on.
Oh, no. Uh-oh.
Oh, no.
Daddy, I want to play with the motor.
Not yet, someday. Someday.
So this is like, I think I have 10 stock clutch pedal assemblies, some stock master cylinders, clutch master cylinders.
Now, why do you start, just so people that want to do the swap that you can get a new stock pedal?
I get talked, like a lot of people talk to me about from an automatic, they're coming from an automatic and they say, hey, I want to swap to a 6-speed, and they say, hey, do you have the stock stuff? And normally I used to say no, but I have a local dealer here that hooked me up, so I made an order of like 10 complete assemblies with brake pedal. I ordered a couple masters because a lot of people like the tilt master.
Sure.
So I ordered a couple masters, brake pedal, clutch pedal, so I have all that.
I got to admit, just not even trying to interrupt you, but I think the one thing that makes this also nice, and the more and more I watch you, is every time you're perfecting, you're making it better and easier and more plug and play. The more you can make it that way, the more people are going to go to it. Yeah. I know personally, the more I see you update, I'm like, I should have went that way. There's literally nothing I have to do anymore. You literally, here's every nut bolt, put it on the car, bolt it up, and you're done.
That's what I'm trying to do. I'm trying to make it as easy as possible for you to put the trans in the car. I want it to be just as easy as putting a factory trans in the car.
Sure.
Cross-member hardware, the QuickTime hardware, because the QuickTime hardware that it comes with from the factory is not right at all. Like the block bolts that go into the block, not right. The bolts for the T56 mag that pass through into the bell, not right. So this is, it has everything, all the bolts you need.
Perfect.
Pigtail for wiring, that makes everything easy, and then it has the billet speed, mechanical speed sensor plug.
Gotcha.
These are really nice. So this is made by Nathan McKinney down in Texas. It's a 3D printed, I think it's carbon fiber. But this allows the shift boot to slide up under, and then the shift ball to fit on there. It looks like the stock. You probably saw my video.
Yep, and I saw it in the car there. And for me, mine doesn't fit and stuff, and it bugs me. Yep. Little stuff like that goes such a long way. I don't know, maybe you don't see that. I hope customers say back to you. For me, in my standpoint, that makes me want to go to a T56. Little things like that that make it look stock make me appreciate it that much more. The extra mile makes it that much better in my opinion.
Yeah, shift balls. These are the Dakota Digital boxes. I don't keep too many of those in stock because I make like $10 on those.
Okay.
So I don't really stock them too much. I usually refer them to Summit Racing, but if someone insists that I include in the kit, I'll put it in there. These are the Prothane mounts that go on the cross member. So the cross member fits like this, and then the Prothane mount sits on top.
And you make that in-house also, correct?
Yeah, I make this here.
And that's one thing I wanted to hammer down with all this. You do all this in-house and get everything shipped in and do this all in-house. And on top of that, you've done all the headache stuff. People, I've seen the post before already. People said, well, I can buy it from XYZ for this amount, and I can buy this part for this amount. This is what makes you better, in my opinion. This is what makes Grannis Racing is that you're able to supply everything under the sun, and you have the best test car in the world for it. I mean, you've done all the testing. It's not like you're calling someone and going, will this work? And the guy's going to go, I don't know. That's your problem. Or you'll go, don't do this. I've got another part that'll work for you. Trust me on this. I promise it'll work. That's what makes a difference with you and the whole Grannis Racing.
Yeah, that's like I said, I'm just trying to make it as easy as possible and have everything included. And then as far as testing, I mean, I think we've done enough testing with it now to prove that it's pretty capable. And then for the street car guys, I mean, like George out in Texas with that 1,000 horsepower car, he's out there street racing that thing and kicking ass with it. So,
yep.
And it's held up, and it's a GR700. It's not even the built trans. So
it's a stock transmission now, or stock?
Yeah, it's right there. It's like a factory Tremec trans. It's pretty cool.
Now, I think you posted once too, the V160 foot-pound rating from the factory is 500, or is it 600 foot-pounds?
I think it's like 550, something like that.
Yep.
I've never actually seen a published one, but I've like read from other people's posts, that's what it's rated at.
Okay, and now what's the Tremec rated at then?
700.
Okay.
And it's a 4,000 pound car, so.
I mean,
yeah.
It's a big difference. I mean, right off the bat. I mean, obviously people say, well, what about the guys making your 1,500? They're right, you've done it, but it's still at the end of the time. I think any of the transmissions, the built motor stuff, they're wear items. At the end of the day, they're still wear items, but if you can get a transmission that's going to wear and last longer, why not do it, especially with the V160 costing so much? I think
it's mainly parts with the V160 now. I mean, even just a synchro, like trying to get that synchro to rebuild a torn up synchro in a trans is a pain in the ass now.
Sure, absolutely. And I saw they're starting to rebuild gears and do that, but when I saw $600 a gear, I'm out. I mean, I'm out. For $600 a gear, and it's not guaranteed that's going to last.
So some other stuff I have. These are the factory interior panels.
Oh, so you keep the 6-speed shift panels in stock?
Yeah. When I did the clutch pedal stuff, I ordered 10 of these too. Because I was afraid that they were going to go out of.
Sure.
And then if a customer came to me with the auto swap and they need this, what
right?
am I gonna do?
So guys, check that out. He's even stocking all these stock beyond the actual little parts. He's stocking interior parts to make this 100% plug and play. I don't think it gets much easier than that. That's pretty awesome, man.
Yeah, so like this is V160 parts. We don't have to talk about that. Tilt and master cylinder kits. Those are for my V160 stuff, so you don't have to pay attention to that.
Okay.
Sicky, the billet shifter, the 4-inch. I only have 2 of those left. I need to order some more.
So Sicky makes the billet shifter then for you?
Yeah, Sicky down in Baltimore.
Yep.
They've been pretty good to me. So these are the QuickTime bells, and I have a big stock of these right now. They just came in last week, and I just shipped out 2 of them today. So I usually try to keep about 15 on the shelf. They've been selling pretty well. And I've sell a lot of those even without, like someone that just wants to buy the bell housing will come to me usually. Because I trim the one part that's tight clearance.
I was just going to say, can
the SC300, the IS300, and the Supra, it's really tight on the one corner, so I just trim that piece off and then I repaint it to make it look like it's factory.
Once again, plug and play. One last thing I got to deal with if I'm the customer. Once again, that's just the awesome part about buying from you versus anyone else.
And then, so you see these ones are all 4030. This is the 4091, and you can see ARC7 to T56. So that's the next. That's the next project.
2JZ to LS1. That's the next project, and that's gonna be pretty cool to watch too. Wish I was closer by. I'd come and record all that too.
And then these are my manual racks. So I have I don't keep 14-to-1 Supras in stock because I rarely sell those. But I keep the 14-to-1 and the ARC7 because a lot of road race guys run that. 20-to-1 ARC7 racks, and then I have 3 20-to-1 Super racks.
And they still selling pretty well for the most part? I mean, people...
I kind of shifted focus. You know, that was my first focus, was selling racks, and then I moved into the transmission stuff, and I've been enjoying that a little more, so.
Gotcha. Now, I mean, now if you run out of those, this is going to be it. I guess I wanted to get at, if once these are out, is that it? Then are you kind of moving away from it?
Like as soon as I sell like 1 or 2 of those 20-to-1 super racks, I'll order another 4 and I'll put them back in the shelf.
So that just so you're still supporting that and you're going to keep that going, but you're definitely shifting focus from that to transmissions and doing something more technical.
Right, because when like to make those, I had to take the factory tie rod ends that come with the Flaming River rack and actually have them cut down a machine. And to make it affordable, I had to get like 50 of them cut at once.
Wow.
So I have that much stock, you know, so I'm going to keep selling them.
Sure.
I'm definitely not going to let those sit. So.
All right, guys, so this is the Tremec. This is a stock TR6060, or is this a T56
No,
Magnum?
this is a Magnum. I don't do anything with the 6060s just because of that bell issue like I was talking about.
No, this is totally different from a CD009. Like, I can still feel what gear. Like, right now, that's 3rd and 4th, correct?
Yep.
If I go over, 5th, 6th, done.
And
reverse,
you have to put your weight into it because of the way I do that mod. So if you put your weight, it's tough.
So to go over and up still?
Yeah, over and up.
Is that reverse?
I think so.
Oh yeah, that's definitely in reverse.
Yeah,
that's still
you have to put pressure on it because of the way I do that mod with the spring. That's how it works.
So again, guys, I'm gonna go over, 1st, 2nd, 3rd, 4th, 5th, 6th. Now that's the first time I've ever done this, guys, and it's still way better than my R154 by a long shot. I would much rather have this.
Maybe.
It just turns off automatically.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. Right. So again, 1st, 2nd, 3rd, 4th, 5th, 6th. That's it. It's pretty simple, guys. It's way better than my R154. So again, this is the car you bought way back in the day, and what was your original purpose for the car when you bought it? Did you plan on doing what you're doing today, or was it to be a street car?
Yeah, it was going to be a street car. Darren set it up to be a street car, put the AC back on it. It had everything, creature comfort, except for it had, the full cage in it. And I bought it, and I drove it around the street, and it was making like, I think it was making like 800 on E85. So it was a fast street car. And then I've always raced, so then I just took it to the track one time, and it didn't really run like I thought it would. I think I ran like a 980, and I was like, man, this doesn't seem right. So I put the race gas in it, started running on race gas, and that made all the difference. And I don't really know, I still don't to this day know why the E85 tune wasn't working like it was, because I run E85 now, and I love this stuff.
Right.
So I don't know exactly what was going on back then, but once I turned to the race gas and I actually started spraying the car a little bit, man, it made such a difference. And I think it was like within 2 years of buying it, I beat Darren's best time with it. And when I did that was like crack. That was like heroin running through me. And ever since then, I've just been trying to go faster and faster, and it hasn't really worked out too well so far. I've turned this thing. It still had AC and power steering when I ran 836. It was like I drove it to the car shows and got arrested in it, and
got arrested.
Yeah.
Oh boy.
Yeah.
I didn't know about any of that. That's interesting.
Yeah, I ran from the cops. They never caught me, but they came to the house later and arrested me.
Oh, I didn't know they could even do that. I guess they could do that.
Yeah, they impounded the car. Yeah, there's pictures. If you look on my Facebook page way back, I think that was like 3 or 4 years ago.
Which actually, if you really think, it's not that long ago. That's actually really funny to think about.
Yeah, it was stupid. It was stupid. I don't like to brag. Like I never brag about it because I feel like it was a stupid decision, and I would never do that again. But yeah, there's pictures out there of what happened, and
live and you learn kind of thing.
Yeah.
Yeah, but that wasn't fun when someone comes to your house to arrest you for doing car stuff. Because when you think of doing racing and stuff, you hear of like illegal street racing, but you don't think like handcuffs. You think that's drug dealers, murderers. Right. So when someone pushes you in cuffs, you're like, holy crap, this is a big deal.
They said I was street racing too, but I wasn't. I was just showboating.
Yep.
I was just showing how much power the car can make and what it does when you get on it in 3rd gear. I mean, it would blow the car sideways going down the highway. So yeah, the cops saw. I thought I was racing the car beside me and hit the lights, and I'd said, "You're never going to catch me." And
that was it.
They never did, but they got me eventually. But yeah, the plans for this, like I said, I'm thinking try to lighten it up a little bit more with the carbon doors that I have sitting over there. You can see them behind the car.
They're behind the car over here, then.
They're the ultra carbon.
Oh.
Washington makes them. They're really nice, and they are super light.
So these aren't the cheapos, I call it,
No.
the VIS ones that.
No, they're like $3,500.
Oh.
But
Now look at these boys and girls. I'm gonna go to this side so I can.
wish I could like show you how light they are.
No, I don't even want to touch them, to be honest. I'm not gonna take the chance.
Like, if I could use my hand somehow, like this weighs I think 5.7 pounds right now in my hand.
Wow, dude. I mean, what's a door normally weigh for a Supra?
I'm gonna take those off and I'm gonna strip them down the same way these are, like to nothing but the shell, and
Yep.
I'm gonna see. But I'm thinking they're gonna be like 20 pounds, so it should save 30 pounds. If you put everything back, like I'm gonna put the factory glass back in them.
Oh, really?
Yeah, and I'm gonna keep the power window on the driver's side because I like that at the track.
So the back's plexiglass right now, though, correct?
That was the worst thing I ever did in this car.
Really?
Yep. It saved like 5 pounds. It saved 5 pounds to put that in there. It looks terrible in my opinion. I don't know. That was one of my biggest regrets with that car.
One of those live and learn regret things.
I mean, it doesn't look bad. I mean, but it looks like a race car now. I always liked how my car never.
Yeah, I mean, definitely there's no hiding that, especially the giant nitrous bottle in the back too. But I mean, for what it is, I mean, it is definitely a race car at this point.
Yeah, for sure. Now I've done so many things. Like I said, it sucks. I've done so many things to make it more race car like. You know, like I said, I ran 836 like 4 years ago, and I've done so much stuff to try to go faster, and lost I think 2 motors since then, and I've only gained 2/10. I've gone from 836 down to 817, not even 2/10. So a lot of money and a lot of time for not much results.